And welcome to my podcast, Ree's Being Refined by the Fires. I'm Ree, and this is my 7th episode and my last of this year. I make 1 year from the podcast on September 13th. Yay! Thanks be to God. I'm so happy and so excited to have been so consistent and staying focused enough to do this podcast for an entire year with just like 2 to 3 weeks in between seasons for a break. But like I say, thanks be to God, because I'm a brain stroke survivor, as many of you know. And if you're new here, hello, please subscribe. And this is my Did You Know episode, number 7. And the last one of this season, as I'll be taking a break at the end of September going into October. But I am so grateful. Yep. Thanks be to God. Ain't nobody but God. Nobody but God. Like I said in my interview with Johanna Okwani. If it had not been for God, I'd be dead in my grave. I owe all to Him. My all. Yep. So today I want to talk about, whose side are you really on? God or the devil? Also, before I start, thanks for everyone who prayed for my husband. He, I mentioned before that it was a little emergency after I came home. Me and my daughter came home from church. We went to the emergency room, and the nurse referred him to a specialist. And he contacted that doctor and set up the test that he needed to take. Prostate cancer runs in his family because his grandfather died from not the surgery, but from a complication. He was allergic to some medicine they gave him while he was having the surgery. And he died from that, not from the surgery itself. So, but thanks be to God, Alex is fine. Thank you for your prayers if you prayed. And if you didn't, but you just had us in your mind, good thoughts, thank you. It's appreciated. But he's fine. Yep. He had 2 tests. He had an MRI, and then he had to have a scope where they stuck this long tube up his, you know what? And he showed me a picture of it. They had it laying on the bed when he walked in the room. That just made it worse, because I'm like, why do they do that? It's already intimidating feeling it. Did he have to see it too? Because they didn't want him to be surprised. But like I say, thanks be to God. He made it, and everything's all clear. But they showed, the scope he had actually showed more things that are going on in his body that he already knew, like that he has arthritis in his knees and some other things, but he already knew that. That's nothing major. Everybody has arthritis. He used to play football, so that's to be expected. And he's an active guy. Yeah. So now getting into the topic. Whose side are you really on? God or the devil? This upcoming election with Biden versus Trump, I was just like, I don't even want to vote, because honestly, I don't like either one. But this video that I watched on YouTube of this girl who was an ex, she had been in prison and she got released, and she made me think differently about Trump. I forget her name, but I saw him in a different light because she spoke about the way she interacted with him and his staff, and how he actually liked, some of the rappers and other blacks. Because I was like, he a racist. Not getting my vote. And the way he worded stuff, like saying those people's jobs. Who is those people? Anybody, any job, a job can be for anybody. I may not want it, but don't classify me as being somebody who's only qualified for a certain type of job. That's insulting. I think he uses the wrong verbiage, but and I don't think he does it I think that's just the way he was raised. But we all have our flaws. And like I say, both candidates have flaws, because Miss Kamala Harris, when she took over for Biden, and I was worried about Biden. I didn't know whether Biden or Trump, because some of the stuff Biden had been doing, I wasn't feeling. And when Kamala took over from Biden, that was kind of a relief, because I was like, Lord have mercy, is he going to be able to? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's a lot. And then when she took office and took the position for him to be Trump's running mate, it was like she chose to celebrate with a party of drag queens? Really? No. No. I believe you're called to love everyone, not their lifestyles. I don't have to love what you do, but I have to love you. We have to love our enemies, but not love the way they living. I just can't get down with that. And then this border control stuff, how she just open gates, letting all these non-U.S. citizens over here, giving them checks, putting them up in hotels and apartments. It's like, and then the homeless people here who are residents, were born here, born and raised, not just got here a few days ago, a month ago. No, they lived here, been working here all their lives. They're homeless now, and they ain't got nobody to help them. They have to jump through hoops to get help. Is that right? We're called to help others. You help home first. Then you go outside your borders and help other people. How you feel so sorry for other people, but you not take care of home first? You called to take care of home first. Then once everybody in your house is taken care of, then you go outside and help go over somewhere else and take care of somebody else. Like all that money they sent overseas to help, that was a whole nother country. That's And then, are they vetting these people? Like, do you know their history? Is their government vetting them? Or are you just letting anybody in? That's a safety hazard. And in most cities around the world, the police department is understaffed. I mean, back when I had my wreck in April, and I podcasted about my frustration with being doored by a Lyft driver. And we sat there, we were there about over an hour, and they have a police station right down the street. I came to find out the police that they had dispatched wasn't necessarily coming from down the street, but from another station. But still, that's no excuse. An hour at 8 o'clock at night? No. No excuse. So if I couldn't get assistance from a police officer to come about a automotive accident I've been involved in, can you imagine the havoc that not to say all people, I'm sure there are some families that came over and they're really nice. They'll be respectable people. But there are some people who aren't nice. You wouldn't even want them as your neighbor. Let's be real now. Everybody's not subdivision type people. Quiet, mind their own business. No. Not. So, but I don't know. Like I say, I might really have to, and now since the other guy done dropped out, it was going to be between Harris, Trump, and RFK. Well, now that he's dropped out, his votes have gone to Harris and Trump. So I'm just like, oh my God. And I was hopeful when I saw the video with the girl, and she was saying that's who she was voting for. And it's like, well, now he's dropped out. He had a lot less votes than they did. But the votes he did have went to Trump and Harris. So it's like now, but I'm gonna vote. But I know who I'm not voting for. This time I'm gonna have to change my party. And I will not be voting the way I normally vote. But while I'm changing the party and making that vote with that candidate, I'll also be in prayer. And I suggest you guys do too. Because the United States is like in big trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. But even with Trump, his stance on a lot of stuff will be helpful. But still, anybody could use more help. I feel like if we all pray, and prayer works, especially a community of praying people. We need to pray. Pray and vote, because votes matter. And you have to vote. So even if it's politics all throughout the Bible. I'd like to believe there were more believers back then. There was a lot of heathens too, but it was more believers, a lot more believers than it is in this day and time. Because everybody got their opinions and all in their feelings. And, well, I feel like a girl, but you're obviously a boy or man. I feel like a man. Everything's mixed, switched, opposite. But God is not the God of confusion. Know that. And we just need to pray, guys. pray, because I really don't know how this is going to happen, what the outcome is going to be. But either way, pray. All you can do is pray and ask for God to show you which party to pray for, and let it go. Then you go in there with the answer that he gave you and do what you got to do. Cast your vote. But this world is so mixed up. And God isn't the God of confusion. The devil is. The devil is. And I hate to say it, but I really believe that the Democratic agenda is more on the devil's side, and Trump is more on God's side. I never thought, I am 56 years old. I never thought the day would come where I'd have to consider changing my family been Democrats for years. My great-grandfather was he owned his own business. He was a landscaper in the Heights in Houston. And he was a Democrat. My grandmother was a Democrat. My mama was a Democrat. I was a Democrat. My kids are Democrats. So, like I say never. Because I am 56 years old, and I'm certainly sitting here thinking really hard. I'm almost positive I'm going to change my voting status over to Republican if I have to. If I can't just vote on a Democratic ticket, Republican, and I have to do some changes, I want to get started now since we're at the beginning of September. That way, by the time November roll in, I'll be good to go. If there's anything they got to mail me to confirm, whatever, it'll be done. So we can get this done and get this over with. And stay in prayer again, because neither candidate is... I wasn't excited about voting for Trump, because it's like, how in the world did he get out of all that mess? And they had him on trying to overthrow the White House. That was madness and chaos, but he beat every charge. And again, Miss Harris, Kamala, no. Can't do that. So, and I heard something today that Trump doesn't take a salary. Since he's a millionaire, he doesn't take a salary like the other presidents did. I don't know how true that is. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments. But I was watching, I forget what video that it was I was watching. It said that Trump doesn't take a salary. Must be nice. Everybody ain't able. But again, do your research. I'm the research queen. My name even starts with Ree. So, do your research on the candidate to vote for. Ask God for direction in your prayers, and go vote. Don't stay home and not vote because you don't like either one, because you have to vote. It's your call to be in politics. You don't have to have a career in politics, but you're called to vote. And our ancestors, they went through a lot to get us rights to vote. So if you had a color skin that I got, or darker or lighter, you know who you are. You need to go and vote. Every vote counts. And you may think, oh damn, no, it don't matter, because I used to did vote. That's how I know. I was like, everybody else will vote. My little vote don't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It really does. Yeah. So, well, love you guys. Y'all stay blessed and have a good evening. Bye.